Guys, the BBC Traitors in the UK, oh my gosh, it is going off. It is actually going off. And I have to be here to tell y'all about it. So we just pray that the Holy Spirit helps me to keep it together because you guys, I'm so excited. I'm trying to calm down. It's like 11 p.m. And let me just paint the picture, right? Let me paint the picture. Because one thing I have to tell you guys about the UK, about England, I don't know if you guys know this, for those of you outside, I will tell you, is that, and by the way, I wasn't in this mood prior to watching it, which we're going to get to, because then what I've got to do after I record this video is I get to watch The Sidemen Sunday, and they're doing a Last to Leave the Arcade, so I'm just like, this is amazing. Anyway, if you're not from the UK, I'm going to explain something to you. So in the UK, right, we have a TV license. I don't know if they do that anywhere else. But basically, you pay like a certain amount of money every, either yearly or monthly. It's a very small amount. It depends on your household and stuff. And you have access to all the so-called like public services like BBC, all of the BBC channels, the BBC stuff they have online, which I, as a teacher, I'm very much in favor of because they've got all this stuff for like school stuff. You could basically actually do the entirety of homeschooling for a child of all ages just using BBC Bite Size alone, which is freely available on the BBC website. So when I say these guys deliver, not to mention their shows. The thing about Brits, yeah, is there's a few things I have to point out. I prefer British humor to American humor. I've always said this because I feel like American humor is a lot more on the nose, and British humor, it's a lot more witty, a lot more sarcastic, a lot darker. So they do dark concepts very well, and that's why it doesn't surprise me when a show like Baby Reindeer comes out, which of course, you know, is based in Scotland, where a lot of the BBC offices also are, by the way, because people find a Scottish accent to be very trustworthy. So people like, that was more of a northern accent actually, not Scottish. Anyways, I need to work on my accent. I need to diversify again. Anyway, so they have a lot of their offices there because people so-called trust their accent. Anyway, so it doesn't surprise me when I see things like Baby Reindeer coming out and all of that and all these just kind of heinous types of things, because it's giving Britain, it's giving Britain, it's giving demonic, and I just know it very well. So I love their shows, like the way that they do twists and turns. Like if you watch like a BBC short series, guys, it's some of the most insanely heinous. I mean, even that show Adolescence, was that not a British show? Anyway, back to what I was saying. So the Traitors. So you guys know, obviously, I've been off the whole show because I really loved it. And there was a year, like a couple Januaries ago, that's why it's funny. In the January of 2023 or 24, I was like, God, give me a game that I can play, that I will never, that I like, whatever I said to him. Like, I just want something I can throw myself 100% into, not have to be thinking about people's feelings, because like, I feel like a good game, when you play a game, like we should all want, like, it's the same way that if I respect somebody in a race or in a competition or in a game, I will always play my best because it's out of respect to you that you don't walk away and then think you beat me and I'm just like, haha, actually I let you win. No, I would want you, that if you beat me, to know that, wow, you really done the damn thing. I put it all out there. I hate the sympathy vote. I hate it. I hate, just like how I would never cheat and these things, because it's like, if I win, I love winning, so I want to win the right way. So I want to give it my all, right? And so the problem I've had and I've been facing, this is why I wanted to talk with you guys about it, is that obviously it's all this about people's feelings, and a lot of people take things to heart and they can't separate this concept of a game and relationships, just like how people can't separate feelings and logic, which is something I've learned in my job. Now, I must preface all of what I'm about to say by saying this. The reason why I've realized, I was just thinking about this just now because I had to go out on a walk to just like, because I've just feel so overwhelmed with so much energy now. The reason why I've become like this, right, and it's worked out for me in a lot of ways, but it's also hasn't in others. Like, I was getting the ick with my previous video that I uploaded of me, like, telling you guys about love and God is love and all this and all my issues, and it really gave me the ick because I hate to talk about my feelings, because I've always lived a life where my feelings don't matter. The reason why I'm so good at just like separating my feelings from the facts is because the facts have only ever been the things I've had to stand on, and winning has been the only thing I ever have to stand on. Because when it comes to a battle between me against somebody else, usually a Jezebel or somebody under her control, no one ever takes my side. So it's like when it comes to feelings, it doesn't matter about my feelings. My feelings don't matter as far as the jury of the sheep was concerned. So that's why I've always been so fixated on doing things that I have a quantifiable, quantitative data so that no one can take that away from me. That's how we got here. So it's good points, but it's also got its bad points, because then this is when I'm now struggling with the feelings thing, because I really don't have patience for people's feelings, and I get really frustrated when like situations like this. I'm like, it's a game. Like I look, because I'm going hard on you in a game isn't because I don't care about your feelings. Isn't because I'm mean or because I'm savage. It's because I respect you. And if you win and you beat me, I want you to know that I gave it everything, because how sad would it be for you to say, it's like what people do is, some people like I Show Speed and stuff, when he goes up against, at professional athletes and stuff, people say, oh, well, you can tell so-and-so wasn't even trying their hardest. I'm like, no, try your hardest. If I'm going to have this W, you're not going to take this away from me. And I don't want to take that away from anybody else. So I was like, that was my predicament. So I obviously had applied to go on it and whatnot. And then eventually I was like, first of all, I don't think I'm going to be on it. Second of all, I actually don't want to, because as I was watching the next season that came out, and then also the season I would have been on, I was like, I'm so glad I'm not there, because again, it's the classic jury of the sheeple being swayed, people getting caught up in their feelings. So I was actually not planning on watching the show at all. And I was very happy that I didn't get on there, because it wasn't what I was asking for anyway, because I can't throw myself in head first. Because if I do, I'm going to be seen as the savage, I'm going to be seen as the villain, even though this is a game, and this is the game we're supposed to play, whichever side you're on, whether you're a faithful or a traitor. Which, if it was me, ironically at the time I thought I would have wanted to be a traitor, because I was thinking I would love to actually, because I'm not that character in real life. That was the whole reason I was interested. I was like, because I'm not that character in real life, it'd be so fun to immerse myself into that kind of way of thinking, because I know how that way of thinking works, but I've never been that person. Other people, they be like that. And this is why it was always backwards for me. I talk about this with the Lord all the time. I'm like, I want to be the savage and play hard in a game, and I would never do that in real life. Meanwhile, other people would do that in real life. Those are the ones who are protected in society, and then maybe not do it in a game because they're playing a game. And that's why I think this is so fascinating, because it's like, I just want to do it when it's just for a game. We can sit here and you can absolutely annihilate me, or I'll actually annihilate you, and you could deceive me, whatever, in the game. Listen, let's go for some food, let's go for some drinks afterwards, let's go and have fun, let's laugh about it, ridicule me, whatever. I don't care. It was just a frigging game. It's just a game. So fortunately for me, because of my life circumstances, I've had to become very good at separating my feelings from the facts. And so I wasn't interested anyway. So I've not really been wanting to watch. But this season, you guys, oh my gosh, every season I'm like, I'll give it 3 episodes and we'll see. Like last season, they had celebrities. So the celebrities, obviously, again, they're used to knowing the jury of the sheeple. They're not here trying to appease the people. They don't really care as much as other people do, because other people will be like, oh, he's my best mate, and I don't really know my best mate, blah, blah, blah. Which we're going to come to that, because they did something in this season that proved what I've said to you guys about how people always reveal their real selves when something's private. Because they had a challenge in this season. It made me laugh. They can get shields, right? I'm not really giving away too much, because you're not going to know who I'm talking about. But they could have give away shields, right? And shields means you can't be murdered by the traitors at night. So in the challenge, they had to, the maximum amount they could earn was £10,000, yeah? And they had to collect all these trophies and whatever, all these statues, and do this whole thing. I'm not going to get into all of it. But the thing is, if they could also get a shield, but that shield was going to take away 1,000 from this 10,000, right? At the end of it all, people got shields. It was all done in secret. And obviously, and these are what I'm saying, humans never change. The classic people doing it and thinking they're the only one doing it, right? So people took a shield thinking they're the only one doing it. Think for a second how many shields you think were picked up, you guys, okay? And so bearing in mind, the total is 10,000, and each shield is going to remove 1,000 from the money. And this is something else I notice in games, is that people don't think of the long game, they think of now. So people always in these games, they're thinking, I need to make sure I'm going to be there tomorrow. It's like, no, you need to make sure you're going to be there at the end. You need to make sure you're going to be there at the end, and you need to make sure that there's money at the end. That's why I hate these shows again, because I'm just like, people just be throwing away money just to make it to tomorrow. It's like, you're going to make it tomorrow and you're going to have 50p left in your jackpot. You need to be thinking about, you know what I mean? Anyways, spoiler alert, 7 of them took shields. So of that whole challenge, they only took 3,000 Great British pounds sterling from 10,000 that they could have had for this day's challenge. And I was just like, because again, they all thought they might be the only one, which is again, this dumb, dense ways that people think in society. The problem is, guys, because like I said, because I haven't been allowed for the most part of my life, except from with God and with you guys, to actually be allowed to have feelings that matter, I've become so good at like not needing my feelings to matter. Do you understand? Like, and it's honestly the best thing. I'd rather be here. I'd rather actually be here, because I remember watching the show, some of the people, they'd be like, I don't know, something just feels like this. And I'm like, yeah, feels. You don't like them. It's so easy to tell, like, you like people, because this is what they do in the show, right? People will be like, oh, this person must be it, because you don't like them, because you think they're savage, because you think they're intelligent. People, it's not actual data. You're not seen. It's because you're intelligent. Of course there's going to be intelligent people on the show. Duh. How does that mean they're traitors? It's not up to them, their intelligence, if they're chosen as a traitor. It's up to the producers and Claudia to choose who the traitors are. So it's like, there's so much illogical thinking. Anyway, this season we've stepped up the game. Like, we've got some serious game players. We've had people calling people out in front of the whole group, going head to head. By the way, no matter what happens at the end of the banishment, I'm putting your name on the thing. And I was just like, we're here now. Because I'm like, they need to do a traitors savage edition, like, and just all people who are ready to play the game, and not people who are like, oh, I'm just, I run a bookstore and I'm just here to make my family proud. Boring. Go somewhere else. Go to a different, go do some other show. We want to see games. We want to see like what we're seeing now. So I'm so like, oh, I'm just inspired. Like, it's made me feel so excited for the week, because it's, again, ironically, I was feeling so down about this coming week, because I had some certain things I had planned work-wise that I was supposed to do that got cancelled. And I was like, God, this was literally the thing I was focusing on for this week, alongside the other work and everything I have to do. What am I going to do now? But now, whenever God clears my schedule, because I always see it like that, like if I intend on doing something and then it just gets cancelled, especially at the last minute, I'm like, God is clearing my schedule for something. And then now I'm all on cloud a billion after having watched this, because these guys are finally playing a freaking game. And it was so good, because like there was two women like a few times, because both sides are playing really good games. Usually both sides are playing bad games, in my opinion, even in the ones I've seen from around the world. But this season, they've had both sides are playing really good games, right? And there was one bit where two women were going against each other, and they both peered at each other, and they were just like, oh, well, I hope I don't see you tomorrow. Like, because like, I'm going to be telling everybody that we're voting for you, oh, yeah, I hope I don't see you tomorrow. And I was just like, this is what I'm freaking talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of energy I wish the Lord would give me an opportunity to break into, right? In the real world. Like, not like, obviously me and Jezebel, because this is what I'm thinking, it's giving me and Jezebel, when it's like, we both know that what we both know. Everybody else is just whatever they are. We know the truth. Everybody else is just gonna be a battle of we call the clash of the titans, right? It's gonna be the battle of who can sway the jury of the sheeple, because that's what it is between me and Jezebel, isn't it? It always has been my entire life. That's why I said my feelings don't matter, because other people's feelings, because even this lady, she played it perfectly, the whole like, I don't know why she's coming after me, and I don't know why, and I was just like, bravissimo. This is Bella, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I love it, because I've dealt with people like this my entire life, and I'm always the one on the other side where the people are like, oh, but you must not, like, I got into the situation at school, yeah. Oh my gosh, I haven't told you guys about this one. I got in trouble for bullying, okay? And I've gone back and forth about this throughout the years, because I actually didn't bully this girl, right? Because what happened is we got into a disagreement as friends, because she was lying, as in she was actually lying of things we could prove that she was lying about, and I'll give you a couple of examples. Number one, she said her mum was fired from her job because she was too good at it, which is potentially believable. That wasn't the one I was holding against her. The other one, she lied about where she got one of her pieces of jewelry, because we knew where she got it from, but she tried to make out like she got some whatever. And then the other lie, now looking back, I realized that she was the one who was actually, like, in my mind, she was way ahead of me anyway. Like, in my mind, I was like, you're more intelligent, you're more talented, you're more everything than me. I'm not even competing with you. Like, to be honest with you, why would I even do that? And I was quite comfortable where I was at. I'm like in my own lane. I now realize that within the girl group, she's probably the most insecure of all of us, whether we realized it or not. Hence why she's pulling up all these lies. Because I'm thinking, this is what I'm realizing as an adult. I didn't realize it at the time. And this is, like I said, this is a story I haven't mentioned on the channel, which is crazy because I mentioned so many of them. But anyways, so we get into this argument one day because we all go to do something and she's not invited. And at this point, right, it was somebody else's birthday. It wasn't the whole group. It was just a smaller group of us, which wasn't uncommon. Like, so that's why, like, when that happened to me, I told you guys it wasn't a big deal, because sometimes you have smaller groups for whatever reason, like whoever's free. Like, the friendship group I started out with when I first went to secondary school, there was like 12 of us. It was ridiculous. All girls. But can you imagine at 10? So I think school is such a bad environment. But anyway, and the school system, the school thing doesn't change. I don't know if you guys, have any of you realized that, but like, as I realized the way that people dealt with life in school they take those same traumas with them. So people finding the bullies in their workplace, or struggling with insecurity, or what caring so much about what people think. A lot of those things start at school. I don't know if you guys have realized that. So again, shout out to the BBC Bite Size. Go and Google BBC Bite Size wherever you are in the world. Go and look at what kind of stuff is on there, because you can literally do everything. You can choose the exam board, you can choose the age, you can choose the subject. They have it all on there. You could literally teach everything off of BBC Bite Size. They've got videos, they've got games. It's so good. They even have like this digital lab thing where you can do actual experiments like that are in line with the specification of the exams. Anyway, so this is what happens, right? And then me being me, I was like, yeah, we got into a back and forth via text message about, oh, what's happening, and I was like, yeah, well, you lied. It was one of those stupid things as kids, right? But I'll tell you why this got blown out of proportion, in my opinion. And I say this now as an adult pushing 30, because I'm gonna be 30 next year. She went to her mum crying, and this happened with me with a lot of people, right? Where because they've run off, I'm already used to this stuff by now. Like, I've been around the block. I've been wanting to kill myself since I was like 7. So I'm already not really like that sensitive to what people are doing. Like I said, when I had the whole town turn against me, I was just chilling at home at night. I didn't even tell my parents about it or nothing. And I was just watching Glee, eating my PB&J, drinking a glass of milk at the end of the day, going to school, whatever. Like, because what? So what? So what? That's what I'm saying. Some people, they just can't handle the heat. Sorry, I didn't ask them to have to handle the heat, but sink or swim. And this is exactly actually one of these girls from from UCKG. She said that. She said after what she went through from that church, she realized that she was in a sink or swim. And she just had to swim. And that's like how I feel like. I feel like I've just been in a sink or swim my whole life. So I'm just like, oh, well, I'm either going to let this overcome me, or I'm going to overcome it, you know? Anyway, long and short of it is, she sends this message. So the next day I come into school, I get called by my form tutor to go and have a meeting. And I'm just like, oh gosh, here we go. Because I got in trouble a lot at school. And she's like, yeah, so, and I see a letter with my name and another girl's name underlined from her mum, which her mum was very intelligent. And again, she's done the waterworks, because I'm like, lady, you actually created the problem here, because you started to tell lies, and it became a problem in the group because one of the other girls went to the same primary school as her. And so they were telling different, so it was actually causing strife in the group. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was hoping, like, we were on the top of the world. We were winning at all the sports. We were winning at all the activities. We were winning at everything. Everything that there was a competition of, we won. Like, us as a girl group, right? And I was loving it. And we all had our own thing, you know what I mean? We all had our own specific things. And I was just like, this is amazing. We're all better or worse at different things. Who cares? That, for me, was winning. Anyway, so she then goes off crying. And so then long and short of it is, I get in trouble because, again, I realized in so many of these situations, because I'm not there crying. This is why I was laughing at what was happening in the show, and why I was thinking this woman's genius, because she knows if she does the waterworks, if she doesn't feel sorry for herself, the freaking jury of the damn sheep was going to fall for that hook, line, and sinker. So anyway, this girl, yeah, she does that whole thing. And then I was obviously sitting there chill as hell, like when the teachers were telling me off. Because I remember even when they were trying to tell me for a different incident, because I got in trouble, I've told you guys this one, for calling a teacher fresh off the boat, and then the whole class laughed. And the guy was a black guy. So I was quite surprised to have this bold, old British white man telling me about how I could be excluded for racism. And that's all I could think about was the irony. So when I'm sitting there and he's the deputy head teacher, I'm sitting there and he's like trying to scold me and like, I know that you're lying. We know you're the ringleader. You know, they called me the ringleader like a billion times. And I really wasn't, realistically, but I feel like I do things, and then I just do things that are so enticing that people then want to do them. But I'm not the one trying to steer any ship. I'm not trying. But yeah, if I'm having a good time over here and people want to have a good time, they might want to have a good time doing what I'm doing. Anyways, and yeah, so I remember even when he was telling me off, he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to, you should be really grateful. Like, he was trying to talk to me as if like, you don't understand. You should be so grateful that I'm giving you this chance, because if the head found out, you'd be out of the school. And all I could think about was how ridiculous, in my head I was just laughing at how ridiculous this was. It's like the same way that my parents beating me growing up here, and I deserve the beatings, I'll be honest. But I told them when I was like 8, I was like, you can honestly beat me as much as you want. This is gonna stop hurting anyway. And they stopped. I was like, there was no lesson there. I'm just, okay, it's gonna hurt anyway. It's gonna hurt it's gonna stop hurting eventually. So go ahead. That's the worst. The thing I'm doing might be worth the pain. Anyway, so yeah, I got internally excluded. So I had to be an internal, they have like a room for internal exclusion, like, right, it's giving prison vibes. And she's all going around telling me, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, she's gone through all this, she's gone through all this. I'm gonna say, let her have it. It's so funny. I saw one of the guys from school, two of the guys from school, one who was smitten over her, right? And he never had a chance. It's always these guys. It's always these guys as well. And it was so funny because when I bumped him, he's like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen, and the two guys said, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in years. I haven't seen you in years, right? And I was like, yeah. Da, da, da. And they were like, well, we don't talk to, and he was like, I still talk to so-and-so, isn't this girl? And I was like, of course you do. And she's still not with you, is she? Exactly. Exactly, you dumb idiot, you dumbass. You're still talking to her, she's still not with you. You're still just her little puppy dog there, looking for a little bit of love and not getting it. So I'm saying this stuff makes me laugh because I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, so because I didn't go around telling my story, like I didn't go around like with all these things I went through in school, I didn't go around telling the world and telling the other girls or the other guys or even the teachers. I didn't go around telling them all the things and how it was affecting me, because honestly, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't need the sympathy vote. So a lot of times in my life, I've lost out because I don't do that. I just take it on the chin. I just look fine. And so people are like, well, she must be the villain then, because look at her, like she's not offended, and we've got this little sad little whimpering little puppy dog over here. And that's what these people were doing in the show, and this lady, and she's doing well in Traitors. She's all like, oh my gosh, whoa. I mean, like, you weren't even like suggesting me, and now you're like, I just don't know where this is coming from. Like, I thought you were my friend. I know that this is a game, and there's, because the one lady was like, the game is here and the friendship is here, as if to be like, we're not friends. We're just still playing a game. She's like, the game's the game. And then the other lady's like, I don't know, but just for me, when it comes, and bear in mind, she's the traitor. She's the traitor. She's like, I don't know, but for me, when it comes to games, I can play games and make friends. And it's like, it's always those. And then the people in the crowd who are all emotional in their feelings, who are used to having their feelings matter, are all like, oh, look at her, she's right. I know we're playing a game, but you've got to have a heart, darling. It's not nice to do this. Like, and it's just like, Lord, I don't want any part of it. This is why I don't want any part of anything, by the way, guys. This is why I'm done with this. There's nothing the Lord can give me in this world. I don't know. He's going to have to figure it out for himself, because I realized that was the only thing I could have asked God for, was give me a game I can play and not have to hold back in. Like, give me somewhere I can spread my wings and fly without having to care about people's feelings so much. You know what I mean? Because it's like everything I do is about everybody's feelings all the time. And like, oh, and it's just like, I just want to spread my wings and fly. I just want to be able to. Why can't I just play a game? This is why when I got to play games with you guys, oh, it was amazing, because I met up to my couple of the winning team, and we were in London. We went to a games cafe, and it was so much freaking fun, you guys. It was so much fun, because they were like, yeah, we like to play Savage. We play Savage. So we were playing savagely, and it was just so much fun. It was like the most fun I've had. And I was just like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. And this is what I'm saying. You guys don't understand. It's all these interactions with you people that give me hope. I'm like, you know what? God, there's hope. There's hope. Because I'm like, why don't we just all like, I want to see, do you not want to, like, I'm like to people, do you not want to see what you're capable of? Like, do you not want to see the capabilities that God has placed inside of you come to its fullness? Because that's my thing with winning. It's like, I don't want to die with wasted potential. You know, like one of these concepts that we have in science, right, especially in chemistry, is potential energy, right? Potential energy, like you calculate the potential energy that of a system or of something that can be there. Right. And then, you know what we also do? We calculate why said potential energy was not the recorded or calculated or experimental energy that was retrieved from the experiment or from whatever. And there's all these factors that prevent the potential energy, the maximum potential energy. So the way I look at my life is exactly like that. I'm like, God has created me with a maximum potential energy, a maximum potential, right? And I want to get as close to that as I possibly can, because otherwise I feel like a loser, because God was intentional with how he created every single one of us. He was intentional with how he created you, how he created me. This is why I love the concept of a team. And so I love the concept of a team, because everybody adds something different. Everybody adds something. Like, this is why I love the Sidemen, right? I love the Sidemen. They're such a good team. Like, as a group of friends, they wouldn't be where they are if not for it. You know what I mean? You have Josh, who's like the oldest one. People call him boring, but actually they all say every time they're asked what one member would mean that this group doesn't exist, Josh, because he's the one who doesn't like to spend money, very frugal, deeply organized. Other guys will do a video and it'll be like, Sidemen sleepover barbecue, just a really nice house with lots of fun games. He'll do a video, it'll be like $100,000 winter holiday versus $100 winter holiday, and it'll be a 3-hour movie because they each delegate that one of them is always responsible for every Sunday, and they're all different, responsible for different videos, and they work as a team, right? But then other people, like for example KSI knows that he's the big drawer-in, hence why they're called the sidemen, because it's kind of like a joke on them all being his sidemen, right? He's the drawing, so that's why he has to be silly. So he plays up to the character on purpose, because he knows that people getting, whether that's people being upset or people finding him funny, that's his part that he plays. Is he's kind of all over the place. He's kind of the one that's rich and has money. He's the one who does just really outlandish things for no good reason. I can't tell you how many times this guy's got fully naked in the Sidemen video. Obviously they blur everything and all of that, right? But he understands his place in the group and like what he brings to the group. You know, then you have Simon, who's a bit more like, because Simon was one who used to record for KSI, they were actually friends. And ironically, funny this with this example I just gave about my experience at school, the way that Simon and KSI ended up becoming friends is because they got into a fight at school. One of them punched the other. They got brought to the head teacher's office, and then the head teacher was like, you guys need to become friends. They became friends, and then long before anything was famous in the earliest days of YouTube, Simon didn't even need himself to be the main character. He was happy to film for his friend. And look at them all now. Like, all of this is a result of their teamwork and them understanding like their place in the game. You know, Harry, he's the unhinged one. You know, they always laugh about him. In one of the videos, Ethan was like, autism's got talent when he was performing. It was so funny. But, you know, but he has his place as well, because he says all the unhinged things, but he's also just really funny. And also he's known, like a lot of people say, if any of them edit a video personally, that his videos are the best well-edited videos. And it's ironic that he's the one who doesn't really post on his channels. He's just enjoying money, having money and traveling and playing sports, whereas a lot of them are making loads of videos. He's still on all the Sidemen content, but they all say he's the one who's the best at actually physically, you know, editing. Josh was the one who went to university for filming, and he's the one who taught Con, who was their main videographer from the beginning, who now has his own whole business on videography, and now is the one who does all their gaming setups, and is just like this genius. They worked as a team, and each single one of them like has their own skill. And this is why I'm so obsessed with watching them, because it's just like watching, it's like listening to a perfectly well-made song, like an orchestra. It's like listening to an orchestra. And this is what frustrates me about life and the game of life, and why the Kingdom of Darkness is like an orchestra playing beautifully, right? Of traitors, of imposters, right? And then we, the quote-unquote faithful, are like the most divided, like the divided people, swayed by the freaking Jezebels and traitors of it all, by the deceivers. This is what's crazy. And so like when you don't have loyalty within yourself, because like even with, like I said, with the Sidemen again, they hold each other accountable. Like if one of them has a really bad story, like his eyes had some, like all of them had different things, they maintain their loyalty to each other. They're there for each other in their worst moments. You know what I mean? And they'll just call it out. They'll joke about it in their videos. Whereas other people be like, oh my gosh, KSI's music has fallen off. And they'll make like a 10. They'll be like people like me making videos. They will just call it out in the video. Like, JJ, we love you, but this isn't your best work. Like, this song sucks. They'll make fun of it. And then also JJ doesn't care, because Pride isn't in the room either. So he finds it funny when people make fun of him or make fun of his stuff. Every now and then he has his little ego spouts, which I can honestly look past. Because again, I've seen people, imposters, traitors of real life, actually trying to do evil with way more pride in the room, way more, you know, or people who are like being deceived but are so confident. Like that's my other thing. So many times, like that's what I love about the traitors. The bit that it annoys me, but I also love it at the same time. My appearance has changed now. Before I used to get frustrated, but now I'm like, I hope they pick the wrong person. They become obsessed, sure that it's the wrong person. They vote them out so that they can then see how stupid they are. So now I enjoy it. It used to annoy me, because every time they get voted out and they stand before guys. So when they get voted, then they get banished at the round table, right? They're like, guys, if you guys don't know how that works, by the way, in the show, you either get banished, anybody can be banished at the round table. It's a group vote. You state your case. Then the whole group votes for who they think is a traitor, and then whoever gets the most votes leaves, and before they leave, they announce who they are. Then at night, the traitors all meet in the turret, and then they choose who they want to murder. So somebody gets murdered through the night, and you only find out who got murdered at breakfast. So potentially 2 people go home every night. Anyway, so at banishment, they'll all be like talking, right? And I love it when they think that somebody's the traitor, and they like the woman who did it in the last episode. I'm not going to get too much into detail. She said, guys, because she did exactly what I would do, because what she did is exactly how I feel about being alive, right? She knew who it was, and she obviously didn't have the physical proof because she can't see it, but she's trying to convince everybody, and everybody's like, no, we don't like how you said it. We don't, the critique, the heavy critique that you get, used to it, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, sent it back, got the wardrobe, mate. And the walk-in, mind you, walk-in wardrobe, yeah, with shelves and everything, yeah. And she she was like, at the end of it, she goes, guys, vote me just so that you can see that everything I've said is true. Because at this point, because she got so annoyed with everybody, that she was like, honestly, I'd rather you guys, I'm so dedicated to this, I'd rather you guys just vote me so you can see that I'm a faithful, because I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. And then this is the bit that gets me. This is the bit that used to annoy me and make me think I'm never coming back to the show. But I love it. This one, when it happened, she's like, guys, I've just so you know, I've done this, everything. Remember the names I've said. Remember what I've told you, because you never know that she might turn around to be a traitor. I am a faithful. And then it's the bit where they're like, oh, how does this happen? How does this happen? And there's always that one person that's like, guys, we need to get serious, because we keep voting out faithful and we need to get the traitors. The traitors are laughing. And I'm like, yeah, you say that, and then you're going to be doing the same sheep mentality 24 hours from now, back in banishment all over again, just to be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It is honestly comedy. And they're like, guys, I really thought, and then they're all there like afterwards, or they all go and have like, some drinks, whatever. They're like, I really thought it was her, like, I really do. And I feel so guilty now. I feel so, and it's like, yeah, you feel guilty now, but then you know what you're going to do? You're going to wake up tomorrow, you're going to come to breakfast, you're going to all forge good plans, you're going to take in the data for yourself, you're going to get the right ideas, and then you're going to sit around the round table where you're going out through the day also talking with the traitors, because they don't seem to realize that they're also talking with the enemy present. So they're always trying to have these big group convos. And I'm like, you guys are just sharing way too much information. Honestly, this show has taught me a lot about my life, and that this is something I've done, which has caused a lot of my own pain, is that I've been just there talking in front of the enemy. Because one of the ladies who left goes to one of the traitors, you're the only person I trust, but basically I've been lying about my career. And I was like, you just told the one person you trust the most is one of your enemies. So it's the story of my life. That's why I love these shows, because I'm trying to learn about myself. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to, because going back even to like what I was saying about the Sidemen, when I watched their Among Us videos, which is a similar concept, right? You have the imposters and whatever, the crewmates. They play, their personalities are exactly the same in the game. So I realized people's actual genuine personalities come out in games and in life, and especially when you're under pressure. That's like I said, when normally when they're doing challenges, like, guys, let's focus on the challenge and let's not go for the shield, right? But as soon as they could get a shield, because Claudia was like, well, you can get a shield, you do not have to disclose that you've got the shield, and you never have to mention. As soon as she said that, and they were all dispersed, so no one had to see them picking up, all of a sudden, where normally we're like, guys, let's focus on the mission, and we don't need to worry about the shield, 7 of them picked up a shield. Because now they got to do it in private, just like people in the world today, like how they get to do things in private, they get to be on the internet. You know what I mean? Back in my day at school, we always had the, like, if you got into an argument with somebody online, like we used to talk on MSN or whatever, it'd be like, yeah, if you've got something to say it to my face. The next day at school, yeah, we'll be out there. Like, if you've got something to say it to my face. Like, say it to my face. That's what we did, yeah? I want to bring that back. And nowadays people can do things on the internet behind, a picture of a duck, a user 37456, and say whatever they want, right? Nowadays, people, before we all used to live in communities, and now we're all so independent. You can live your little imposter life, right? Your little fake life behind the scenes. Because when I'm seeing the show, like, I love this show is the only show, like, when I tell you that the music in the BBC Traitors is literally my soundtrack. Within every episode, there's like a couple of songs that are in my actual like all-time, because I have songs I listen to in seasons, and then I have like my all-time, like, these are just the songs of my life songs. They're all in the show. And it's all dark, and I love it. It's all dark, and it's all mysterious, and it's all creepy, and it's all just, ugh. And I love it because I feel like it's just like, that is actually how the world looks. It's just the world has all this packaging on the top, like imposters do. You play the role. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry myself. Just sorry for myself. I can't do that, guys, because I can't take myself seriously. Like, if I was doing, I can't play fake in long enough. That's why I realized I can't do acting. I used to believe that I wanted to be an actress. When I was a kid, if you'd asked me when I was like 10, I want to be an older, I want to be an actress. I actually can do it because I don't like playing anybody apart from myself. I don't want to escape my own reality. I don't like to escape reality. I like to very much live within it, and hence why I'm a pessimist, and hence why, I see things differently, because I'm not trying to escape the truth. I'm trying to immerse myself within it. Like I'm trying to be. I want to be overcome with the truth. You know what I mean? But that's the opposite of the world I live in. The world loves imposters. The world loves traitors. They're so convincing, right? Because they know how to play the characters. I keep bringing up this playing the character thing. I'm telling you guys, the problematic people of the world, they know how to play the character. They know what looks good. They know how to appease the people. They know how to put on a show. That's what I've been saying about the devil. He knows how to put on a show. He knows how to. This is what I'm saying. I know how to tell people what they want to hear if I want to. This is why sometimes I feel like I told you. I feel like my free will feels way too powerful, because I know, because of how little people think about this type of stuff and how little people are paying attention. I can almost 9 times out of 10, if I want to be, can be 100% in control of a situation. Any interaction with any human, 100% in control, because their guard is down, mainly because in this character role that they see me in is a character that they feel like isn't a threat. I'm not coming across as a threatening character, so everybody's walls are down. Meanwhile, I'm also playing into said character, because I'm like, that works out for me, because then people just seem to be telling me stuff that they're just opening their mouths. They're just running their mouths. They're exposing their demons. Whereas around somebody else where they want to pretend to be prim and proper, right? Where I'm just coming off as a heathen, a deviant, people feel like they get to be their heathen, deviant selves around me. They feel like they can put their walls down. They can be who they really are. It's really interesting. See that especially with the male community, I must say. Who I'm like, oh, I thought, this is why I feel like all these men in power that I've come across, there's been a number of them. And I'm like seeing them behind the scenes, and I'm like, that's so fascinating that you think I'm like, whatever you think I am is actually what you're, the real version of you. And what I am in reality is the picture you're playing to everybody else. This person that's like goody, got the best interest of everybody, wants to do the good and righteous thing. You're playing that character. Whereas that's actually my actual character. The role, the way I'm being perceived, the character people think of me is who you really are. And it's so funny. That's why I said the battle we're facing isn't about good against evil. It's the truth versus the closest lie. And that's why it was so fascinating when they were going back and forth during the traitors, like we're talking about like this little minute detail, and it was so clear how much people don't pay attention to data. People go with their feelings like, oh, I saw how so reacted and I didn't like that, I thought that was a bit much. And then people get all in their feelings, and I'm like, because when people start to get in their feelings, yeah, I'm very good at, like I said, I'm very good at just like, I'm just going to focus on the data here, right? Because I've had to do that, right? It's the only leg I have to stand on. Hence why, even since school, and I do it till now, I have data on people. I have screenshots. I have so much things, you guys, on others. So it's like, if you really want to test my gangster, if you really want to come, there's certain conversations I've intentionally made sure not to have as a conversation in talking, because I know that when it comes down to the Jew, the sheep, or anybody taking my side, so I've intentionally sent it via email, sent it by some written form. So yeah, you have a copy and I have a copy, but yeah, we both have a copy, mate. So we can really go back to that conversation. We can really show if you really want to go there, should we show the people what I actually said? See, I've had to learn this stuff, guys, just to survive. That's why I say it's very exhausting being amongst humans, because I have to do all this stuff to survive. I have to fight to keep up my boundaries. I have to play in a game I'm not even trying to play, because the only games I'm trying to play are the actual games, but nobody wants to play them as actual games because they're all in their feelings. But then in the game of life, I'm not playing with my actual feelings. Everybody's playing with their feelings. And then because I'm not helping everybody's feelings over the data in question, then I'm now the villain. So there's a lose-lose either way. That's what I took away from it. It's a lose-lose either way. That's kind of, honestly, guys, why I just feel like all of this is pointless. It's all pointless, like everything. Like no matter the win, no matter the whatever, there's the elements of it that's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. That's what I was thinking about the shows. Like, if I do go savage, then I have to remember that I'm putting myself up to the jury of the sheep also. Now, am I prepared to deal with being considered a villain publicly and then having to deal with emotional people? Because again, when you're like online, I've experienced it just in the small channel that I have now. People who will talk to me in so much anger, like personally. And like, I'm not talking about comments. I'm talking about like, you said this and did it, and like messaging me via my email. I'm like, and it's not even that I care. It's more that I have to still deal with it, because I have to deal with it. unless I'm going to go out of my character, right? Because a lot of times I just want to punch people in the face. This is the God's honest truth. A lot of times I just want to punch people in the face and tell them about themselves. Because if I was to be able to do what I want to do, this is the thing. I'm not going to be hurt by people's words. My words will hurt them. I know how to hit where it hurts very well because I've been dealing with people who do that to me a lot throughout my life. And like I said, I've been used to being underestimated. I've had to grow a tough skin, and I've been observing because I've had to learn by just observing. So I know how to hit when it hurts. So that's why I get exhausted, because I'm like, you don't understand how much strength it's taking me for me not to be acting. You're out here acting out like a child, right? In all your feelings. And I know that in one sentence, I can crush your life for the rest of your life. You will never recover from the words that will leave my mouth. And I'm just standing there quietly taking it. It's a lot of energy, you know. And I've decided I'm going to start saying some of this stuff on purpose, because some people, they need a wake-up call. You know what I mean? They need a bit of a wake-up call. Because I'm out here, I'm bearing the brunt, I'm pushing my boundaries, I'm being the punch bag, I'm being told all this, that, and the other, and I'm just going on in my day. I'm just going on and going to watch the Sidemen Sunday and get on with my life. And I'm not saying anything, and you're out here erratic. Like, this is what I realize. Most conversations, a lot of times with adults, especially when it comes up to me, when people, the penny, the reason why I think this happens to me so much is because people get to the point where the penny drops that I'm not who they thought I was. And when that moment happens, because they probably wouldn't have engaged with me in the same way had they realized, they act out, and I'm enjoying it. And I just sit there smiling, just like I was when they were underestimating me. Love that. So anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that there. I had to get that off my chest. I do feel better. I was like, I need to tell the people, because I'm too excited to even focus on anything. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving that we're finally getting some grit. Like, this is what I've been waiting for from this country. Like, fight for something. Fight in your face. Like, the ladies came out and they were having this good discussion in front of everyone. I know she's a traitor. I know this. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Because the only reason that the losing team feels like they're winning, you guys, is because we're not standing up. We're not standing up. We're not shutting up, bossing up, and standing up about the things we need to stand up for. We're just taking it lying down. We're just falling for the play that's being put on, for the performance, for the characters people are playing, for these imposters, for these traitors. That's exactly what we're falling for. And I'm so sick of it. So when this lady left, I felt so validated in that moment. Like, when she was like, you know what, what do you call it, a kamikaze? And it's so funny because I only found out what that word meant today. So it's so funny that she then did it after I just found out what that was all about. And she was like, I'm good. Because that's kind of how I live my life. I'm like, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the greater good of everything. Like, I'm going to put myself out there because somebody's got to do it. Because this is a whole bunch of nonsense happening right now. So if I have to lose everything in my life, if I have to lose my mind, if I have to lose everything, lose all the people I care about, lose all the opportunities and lose everything, if it's going to help the game and this kingdom that I am, if it's going to help God who's done so much for me, I'm willing to do it. So I felt so validated when she was like, vote me out. And they were like, she's double bluffing. She's double bluffing. We have to vote her, because if we don't vote her, she's trying to get us not to vote for her. And I was like, you guys are so stupid. You're so stupid. Why would she do this? Like, because of how she was coming across. And so I'm saying, they're going off of what they can see, what they can feel. They didn't like somebody speaking up so much. They didn't like somebody being so confident, so sure. They didn't like it. So they immediately attributed that, oh, you must be the traitor. Maybe she's just somebody you don't like. Maybe she's just somebody whose approach you didn't appreciate, but you're too much in your feelings to look at the data. And listen, that hit me. That was my favorite moment of all the trailers. And this is my favorite season of all the ones, all the America, the Australia, all of them. This is my favorite season by far. And it might be my favorite episode that I just watched of all reality TV that I've ever watched. Because I was like, come on, finally a freaking winner. She was like, listen, I just want the group to win. So if I have to go out just to prove to you guys who I am, I'm willing to do it, because at this point I can't just sit here and pretend this is, at this point, because people didn't understand why she was so passionate. She's like, I can't just sit here for this anymore. Like, I can't do it. And that's exactly how I've been feeling. So anyways, I feel amped. I'm now going to go off, upload this. Now I can chill out a little bit. I'm going to watch the Sidemen Sunday, last to leave the arcade. I'm so excited. And I'm ready to hit the ground running this week. I was feeling so demotivated. But after what I just saw, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, these are the people I need. These are the people I want to be around. People like that. You know what I mean? This is what Christians should be like. But we're not. We're again, yeah. And then when somebody does speak up, you feel like, oh, you didn't have to talk about it like that. Oh, but you didn't need to do it like this. The critique. Boring. Anyways, guys, once again, I'm trying to win. I love you guys all so much. And yeah, I do recommend you watch it. The BBC UK Traitors this season. Oh my days, watch it. I haven't finished the last episode, but doesn't really matter because they're going to keep over whatever happens. They're going to use the cliffhanger. So I'm not that bothered. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to head off. My videos are so long. I'm sorry. I have so much happening. But I'm glad I can make a video that wasn't so emotional, because that emotional video I did before was giving me the ick. I've had to leave my phone on Do Not Disturb just to make sure I leave the video up, because I just hate talking about love and emotions and stuff, because this makes me uncomfortable. So this is the stuff that I'm comfortable with, but obviously I'm pushing myself, you guys, because I'm not a loser, so I have to do the things that make me uncomfortable and I have to address them head on anyways, and not cry and feel sorry for myself on the car and go with your corner like a real baby, like a real loser. Anyways, you guys, last game is playing to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.